So, welcome back everyone to our daily Gita sessions. We're going to be discussing from chapter 1 entitled Observing the Armies on the Battlefield of Kurukshetra. And we're going to be speaking from text number 31. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're going to be saying the Mangala Charan now. Those people who know it, please say it with me. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanyam Novishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Khadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So chapter 1, text number 31. Na cha shreya anupashyami hatva swajanam ahave na kankshe vijayam krishna na cha rajyam sukhani cha na cha shreyo anupashyami hatva swajanam ahave na kankshe vijayam krishna na cha rajyam sukhani cha na cha shreyo anupashyami hatva swajanam ahave na kankshe vijayam krishna na cha rajyam sukhani cha na cha shreyo anupashyami hatva swajanam ahave na kankshe vijayam krishna na cha rajyam sukhani cha न च श्रेयोऽनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनम् आहवे न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च न च श्रेयोऽनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनम् आहवे न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च न च श्रेयोऽनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनम् आहवे न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च हत्वा स्वजनम् आहवे न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च न च श्रेयोऽनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनम् आहवे न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च न च श्रेयोऽनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनम् आहवे न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च न च श्रेयोऽनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनम् आहवे न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च न च श्रेयोऽनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनम् आहवे न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च न च श्रेयोऽनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनम् आहवे न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च Word for word translation. Na, nor. Cha, also. Shreya, good. Anupashyami, do I foresee. Hatva, by killing. Swajanam, own kinsman. Ahave, in the fight. Na, nor. Kangshe, do I desire. Vijayam, victory. Krishna, O Krishna. Na, nor. Cha, also. Rajyam, kingdom. Sukhani, happiness thereof. Cha, also. A translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle. Nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. Please repeat after me. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle. Nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. Perfect. Without knowing that one's self-interest is in Vishnu or Krishna, conditioned souls are attracted by bodily relationships, hoping to be happy in such situations. In such a blind conception of life, they forget even the causes of material happiness. Arjuna appears to have even forgotten the moral codes for a Kshatriya. It is said that two kinds of men, namely the Kshatriya who dies directly in front of the battlefield under Krishna's personal orders, and the person in the renounced order of life who is absolutely devoted to spiritual culture, are eligible to enter into the sun globe, which is so powerful and dazzling. Arjuna is reluctant even to kill his enemies, let alone his relatives. He thinks that by killing his kinsmen, there will be no happiness in his life, and therefore he is not willing to fight. Just as a person who does not feel hunger is not inclined to cook, he has now decided to go into the forest and live a secluded life in frustration. But as a Kshatriya, he requires a kingdom for his subsistence, because the Kshatriyas cannot engage themselves in any other occupation. But Arjuna has no kingdom. Arjuna's sole opportunity for gaining a kingdom lies in fighting with his cousins and brothers and reclaiming the kingdom inherited from his father, which he does not like to do. Therefore, he considers himself fit to go to the forest to live a secluded life of frustration. Okay. So, as we have been reading and understanding the Gita so far, we have seen how Arjuna has slowly lost his will to fight. And we have been, as we have been explaining in the previous verses, that he had come to the battle with the intention to fight. But after seeing the battlefield with his own eyes, seeing what is at stake, that vision of the battlefield has wavered his intention to fight. And we saw that this wavering has gone to such an extent that it has now caused so much intense emotions in him, and those intense emotions within him are now showing on his bodily affairs. You can see that his body is trembling, his skin is burning, his mouth is drying up, the Gandiva bow is slipping from his hand. All these are signs of extreme emotion. And as we see, we have already said, and actually Prabhupada has written, that all these intense emotions are not because of spiritual ecstasy. They are because of material conception of life. And now again, what happens is because he has been afflicted by such an intense emotions, his mind is racing. His mind is not thinking straight. And what is the sign that his mind is now not thinking straight is now he's going to give so many arguments that on the surface will seem as if brilliant arguments as to why not to fight the war. But we will see that in the next chapter, Krishna will say that you speak like a learned man, but you are actually a fool number one. Why? Why is he a fool number one? So in this verse, the word Shreyo is been given, or Shreyaha. Now there are two words in Sanskrit. The first word is Shreyaha, and the other one is Preyash. Shreyash and Preyash. Now, Shreyash means what is the ultimate good. What is my ultimate good? And Preyash is what is giving me immediate pleasure. So one is short term, the other is long term. Just for example, that there is a child. A child does not want to study. He wants to go outside and play sports, run around, play in the rain. So he is enjoying doing those sort of activities. His mind is not wanting to go here and study, but the father and the mother looking at the ultimate good, that if he studies or she studies, then the future will be bright for that kid. So the parents are looking what is Shreyash for the child, while the child is only focused on the Preyash. So this is a very important concept. So Preyash means immediate gratification and Shreyash means ultimate good. But when Arjuna is talking about Shreyash here, it's actually Yes, he's looking for the ultimate, but his ultimate is not the actual ultimate. He is looking beyond the effect of the war. He is already making plans of what will my life look like after the war. So that's already forward thinking, right? That's already forward thinking. So he's already thinking ahead. He's saying that if I kill my relatives, then there is no one to share this victory with. Yeah? Like you go to a cricket match. Of course, say there's a cricket match going on and there's a series, a five match series, and we are already on the fifth match, and one team has already won the series. They won 3 games already, or 4 games, and now the last game is there. Still, the team that has already lost the series will still want to win the last game because there is some thrill, there is some immediate pleasure that they will get from winning that match. So like that, there is immediate victory. There is a taste of immediate victory. But what is Arjuna saying? That I will not even enjoy that immediate victory, nor will I enjoy the fact that I'm going to win anything after that. It's you're winning a match, but you've lost the series anyway. So it's like that. So Arjuna is saying that even if I win, what is the point of my victory? The people that I wanted to win with, the people I wanted to show off my riches with my opulence with, those people are not going to be there. So what is the point of about winning the kingdom? So Arjuna is making all these claims about the ultimate good. On one sense, on the surface level, it seems very, very convincing. But his vision of what is ultimate good is still not really called ultimate. Because Prabhupada writes in the purport, he says that without knowing that one's self-interest is in Vishnu or Krishna, conditioned souls are attracted by bodily relationships. That means that we think that if we work hard, we'll be able to get so much money, we'll be able to do all this, and we'll be able to enjoy in the future, only for death to come and spoil all plans. You're not going to escape death. Whoever is born is sure to die. As I said, there are only 2 things in life which are guaranteed. One is death, the other is taxes. That's a joke. So, but there are only 2 things that are guaranteed in life to happen, and one of them is death. So, no matter how much you try to make your life as comfortable as possible, try to live as much as possible for others, ultimately it is all going to go to waste because nothing is going to come with you. The only thing that comes with you, and actually, why does this happen? Why does this knowledge of the ultimate good is doing the best for the community or doing the best for my family? Why does this happen? It's because people don't actually have any understanding of anything beyond the body. When you understand that there is actually the body is one thing, and then there is the actual soul, and you are actually the soul, you are not the body. And with the soul goes from one body to the next. This is known as reincarnation. These are principles that are explained in the Gita. Like Krishna doesn't actually have to explain it to Arjuna so much about the laws of karma, the laws of incarnation, because Arjuna grew up in a society where all this knowledge was common. It's like as common as ABCD. It was taken for granted that this is known fact. It's now in this age of Kali Yuga that this knowledge of karma, knowledge of reincarnation is becoming like a myth, like something that doesn't exist. It's just mythology. But actually it is not so. That is why we also need some level of pre-Gita knowledge. Before we actually end up in the Gita, we need some pre-Gita knowledge. So in that, we know that we are the soul and we are not the body. And so when we have this distinction, it broadens the view of looking at everything. Because you don't look at life as being starting from your birth till your death. You look at life as just being one chapter in a multi-life journey of the soul. So it already broadens your viewpoint of looking at life. So that is why it is said that if you do not know that you are the soul, and the soul who creates or who allows the soul to move from one body to the next, that is Vishnu, that is Paramatma. The Paramatma is the one who sanctions what type of body we get in the next life depending on the consciousness that we have accumulated and cultivated in this life. It says in the 8th chapter that whatever thought you have at the time of death, that is a destination that you will attain at the end of your life. So Arjuna's problem is he's thinking long term, but his long term is actually medium term. The really long term is understanding that we are actually part and parcel of Krishna, and that we are meant to serve him. We are meant to become his devotees and engage in loving relationship with him. And that is where our real self-interest lies. If we don't understand this fact, then this entire situation is spoiled. Just like I give this example a lot of times, is that say there is an exam paper and there is 5 parts to that exam paper, and you have to use your answer from the first part to answer the next part, to answer the third part, to answer the fourth part, and finally to answer the 5th part. If you get the first part wrong, then your error will carry forward to the rest of the exam paper. And so no matter if you've done step 2, 3, 4, 5 right, because you've done the step 1 wrong, your entire thing will always show the wrong result. So the first step, and that is why Krishna says, he starts the Gita in chapter 2 with that first instruction, on the first worldview, that you are not this body, but you are the soul. Now starting from this point, then when you go through the entire knowledge of the Gita, and then when you come back to the arguments that Arjuna has said, we will actually now see why Krishna said to Arjuna that you might speak like a learned man, but you are nothing more than a fool. So this knowledge is paramount to understanding this. Yeah? So we need to understand what is our ultimate good. Now, what happens if we don't? Then in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 5th chapter, text number 8, Lord Rishabdev instructs his 100 sons that Pumsa striya mithuni bhavam etam tayor mittu hridaya grantim ahu ato griha kshetra sutapta viter janasya moho ayam aham mameti. This means that the attraction between male and female is a basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of the male and female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusions and thinks in terms of I and mind. So Arjuna is a Kshatriya. That is his occupation. His occupation is that he's a warrior. Now a warrior is meant to protect people from getting harmed and also to uphold the religious moral codes of the moral codes of religiosity, upholding dharma. So if he's not doing that, that means he's not doing his duty. And actually it is said that every person has to get some sort of maintenance from his job. And Arjuna being a Kshatriya, he gets his maintenance from running a kingdom. Now if he doesn't have a kingdom, he is not able to sustain according to his nature. He is not going to be able to sustain that. And that's why Prabhupada writes that he is willing to live a life of secluded frustration in the forest because he is overcome by such material emotions that he's not able to understand what is actually good for him. He's not able to understand what is good for him on a very short-term basis, in a material basis, nor is he able to understand what is good for him on the spiritual basis. Yeah, like there was this philosopher by the name of Maslow. Maslow said that there are 5 stages of happiness, or 5 stages of life that a human being or a person naturally wants to have. At the very basic level, a human being will find happiness when his bodily needs are met, like food, water, shelter, clothing. This is the basic needs that a person needs to actually have some sort of basic happiness. Once these are met, once his bodily requirements are met, then he goes one step higher. What is that step? That person now needs people, he needs relationships, he needs to have connections. So this is now going from the bodily level to a bit more on the emotional level or on the mental level. Now at this level, people can, even if they have everything in the world, even if their bodily comforts are looked after to the maximum level, but they don't have anyone to share genuine relationships with, then they are, even after having everything, they are still poor. Like they said, that a man was so poor, that the only thing that he had was money. He didn't have anyone to look after him. And we see this. This is something that we know. We have seen people in this life who are so rich, yet we are people poor. They don't have anyone to look after them. This is a very big problem in the West nowadays. You see the old age, how people are left alone and they are left to survive on their own, even after having everything. So after this, sometimes even relationships is good to have. But then it comes to now the level of intellect, a level of having that, oh, I've achieved something in life. That the more the knowledge I have, the more power I have. There's a more sense of happiness being derived from the level of influence you can have on others. Yes? And so this comes to the intelligence level. When your mind is, or your intelligence is active, it is getting some benefit, then you see that people can go on so many hours, days on end, just feeding the intelligence and forgetting about family and forgetting about the body. Just being attracted and satisfying the intelligence, that is giving them so much pleasure, like philosophers, right? Higher than that is now accomplishments. Oh, I have done something. That sense of pride, yes, that's higher. That's now on the level of the ego. That's on the level of the ego. And higher, the highest is something known as self-actualization. And what we understand it is as being self-realization. So self-actualization means that whatever is an innate talent in you, you have been able to maximize it to the fullest of your potential, and you're actually utilizing the talent that you have for the service of others. Because when you serve others with whatever talent you have, it gives you the highest sort of pleasure. Why do you think that people who have become the biggest billionaires in the world, why do they all of a sudden turn to philanthropy? What is it that makes them want to turn to philanthropy? Of course, there are many sinister reasons, but one of the main reasons is because they also want to feel like, I want to give back to the society. I want to help solve the problems in society. It gives them immense pleasure to serve. And this is actually showing us what it is that we are actually at our core. We are not people who like to take service. We are actually, our constitutional position is to always give service. When we are giving ourselves to others, we find ourselves. And the best person to give yourself to is God. It's as simple as that. Yeah, because when you give to anyone else, everyone else is still not the ultimate. Everyone else is still limited. So what they can give you is only a limited amount, but we want unlimitedness. Yes, we want everything to be eternal. That is why most people in this world do not like change. Why do they not like change? Why do they do not like uncertainty? Because they are looking for something constant. They are looking for something that gives them continuous assurity that my life will be very smooth, very happy. And this is because that is the nature of the soul. The nature of the soul is eternal. It is Sat. It is not. It is not like the body. It doesn't. That's why death is so unnatural for us. We have so much fear for death because death is a very artificial thing for us to undergo. Because we want eternality, we want constantness, we want to be able to have continuous and increasing levels of pleasure. So just think about it. Our life, the way we live it, if we just try and understand the underneath surface with the help of the knowledge of the Gita, it actually makes a lot of sense. It actually makes a lot of sense that we are actually not the body, we are the soul. And we have this tendency to serve. So the only person towards serving is somebody who is eternal, somebody who is unlimited. And that is only Krishna. That is only God. Because only when we start serving Him will we experience continuity and constant increasing in happiness, because the source of that happiness is unlimited himself, is unlimited, is Krishna, right? And this is what Arjuna is not understanding. So Arjuna, okay, he understands, okay, Krishna is my friend, he's my, of course, he's put into illusion, he's a pure devotee. Krishna says in the later chapters that I'm speaking this knowledge to you because you're my dear friend, because you're my pure devotee. But right now, Arjuna is actually playing the role of a conditioned soul. So he's not realizing that Krishna is actually the ultimate. But once he understands through the understanding of the Gita, with the knowledge of Gita, that actually Krishna is the ultimate, at that time you see the final change in Arjuna. He regains his original understanding and all his illusion has been cleared away, right? So Arjuna is trying to find happiness right now on the bodily platform. And on the bodily platform, he's thinking in terms of I and mine. That if my family is not there, my kinsmen are not there, then how will I enjoy? How will I enjoy? And so this is actually, and as I said, Arjuna is part of the Kshatriya occupation, and at the same time, he's a Grahastha. Now, Grahastha life is meaning what? So there are 4 stages of Varna, 4 stages of Ashram. Varna means occupation, Ashram means spiritual order of life. So there's naturally an occupation that we are naturally inbuilt in us to follow, because this is a system that Krishna says that I have created. So because He's created it, it is naturally occurring at every place. We as human beings are actually societal people. We need connection. We cannot live on our own. And so society is required for us to function properly in this world. Now what happens is we get so stuck in the societal affairs that we focus on the Varna aspect and we sideline the ashram aspect. So what happens is that Arjuna is thinking only on the level of the Grahastha. Grahastha meaning that Grahastha means a person who lives at home, but not only living at home alone. It means living with a wife. And when there's a wife, as we said, that what Lord Rishabdev said, that when you have a wife, naturally you will have children. And to sustain both wife and children, you will need family and friends. And to sustain that, you need some sort of wealth to be able to sustain them. And then when you have a bit of wealth, it increases your ego and you start thinking of this is mine, this is not mine, this is mine, this is not mine, or I want to take this and I want to take that. So we get into this illusion of thinking of I and mine, but actually everyone is an eternal soul. Yeah, it's like it was beautifully explained that this life is like a train journey. You boarded from one place and you're sitting on a seat, and then other people came and they were sitting around you, and then some people move off at a different station. So some people live at this time of the journey, and because death has called them away, and then you will also move away from this journey. So life is like going on a continuous train journey with continuous revolving of the people that you surround with, because everyone is a soul. They've all coming together, and then they will go away by the current of time. Just like even if you put a bundle of wood together and you let it go down the river stream, that bundle of wood will stay together for some time, but then with the force of the current, it will eventually disperse. It will eventually disperse. So this is why it's very important to understand this knowledge that Krishna will give in the rest of the Gita, and understand that what Arjuna is thinking of, he's only thinking on the bodily level. He's not thinking at the soul level. So he's in the Grahastha ashram. He's a Kshatriya. But right now he's only thinking as Grahastha. He's not thinking as a Grahastha ashrami. He's not thinking in terms of spiritualizing his life. Because the word ashram means that there is cultivation of spiritual knowledge there at that stage. So Prabhupada used to say that it doesn't matter where you're living, whether you're living as a brahmachari, or you're living as a sannyasi, or you're living as a grahastha. That doesn't matter. What matters is as long as there is the word ashram behind it, meaning at that stage of your life, you are cultivating your eternal duty, which is to remember Krishna, to develop your relationship with Krishna, because only that is going to go with you. That is the only thing that is actually going to matter at the end of life. So all this knowledge will be covered slowly by slowly in as we go ahead in the Gita. Don't want to go too much into it, because we'll keep on cross-referencing what those points that we as we come across them. Okay. Anyone has any questions? Any comments? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ji ki jai.